This podcast is part of the Soul Zone Network. Hello, hello, it's Molly
and Sara
from thebutterflyconnection.com.
We're all connected and we're not alone. What if you could rebirth your soul, spark movement in your life, and reconnect with your authentic self?
Join us each week as we connect with Source to answer the burning questions that lie deep within us and to gain clarity and wisdom to soar to our greatest potential. Welcome to the Butterfly Connection,
where the kinetics of your soul will give you wings to fly.
This is BK23, the power of truth. Hello, hello, it's Molly and Sara.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. We hope you're having a fantastic week. Today, we are going to have a conversation about truth telling. And the truth telling is not necessarily about just telling the truth in general. It is all about how can you and are you telling yourself the truth? Self-truth telling here. So what do I mean by that? It's very plain and simple. Sometimes in life, we have a tendency to tell ourselves things that are not necessarily true for many reasons. One could be we want the situation that we're looking at to look better than it really does. So we'll kind of tell ourselves a little lie to lessen the look of it. Or maybe we have a relationship that isn't going as well as we'd like it to, but we tell ourselves that, oh, it'll get better, or oh, that person that's talking to me that way isn't really that way, even though they're telling me they're that way, but we're not honest with ourselves and saying, oh, I believe you, that this is how you are. Or even in who we are. If we are somebody, and I'm just going to use an example of eating. If you eat sugary foods all day long and tell yourself you're eating healthy, that is a lie. If you are getting up in the morning and telling yourself that I have so much stuff to do, but it's okay, I can sit here and watch TV for 4 hours, you're still telling yourself a lie because you're not doing or thinking or feeling or saying what really is what you're seeing.
Right. And I think a really important question to ask is, why do we tell ourselves these things? Why do we hold back the truth? And I think it has to do with the fear surrounding it. You're afraid to see that situation the way it really is because that would mean things would have to change. Not just with that person, but with you. And change is scary, especially when you're in a situation where you're not really quite sure what the future is going to hold. But it's so important to remember that in doing the spiritual work and starting on this path of truth-seeking, that you set an intention that you actually want to know the truth. You actually have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I'm ready to face the ugly truth, as they say. And that's not an easy step to take. And I think that a lot of times is why people continually do the loop and tell themselves those things and tries to make situations seem better than they actually are. And I guess where I'm going with that, though, is if you're not ready to set the intention to hear the truth, seek the truth, and know the truth, then this isn't going to work. So it's got to be that you're ready. You have to be ready to do that. But here's the beautiful thing about it. It's like we said in a different podcast. What is the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen if you finally say, I really have to face the truth here? And seeing the future and trying to control the future is pretty much where my fear lives, because if I change, then I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm here to tell you that what's on the other side of that rainbow, what's at the end of that tunnel, is going to be built in faith. And faith and truth go hand in hand, because in order to understand the truth, you have to have faith in what's going to happen next after you've learned it.
Absolutely. And remember, you cannot move forward until you are ready to tell the truth. So if you are here today and you are ready to start doing the work that is needed to lead a life full of connectedness and inner joy, it is time to tell the truth about everything. So, if you are afraid to speak up for yourself, tell the truth. If you are unhappy with how healthy you eat, then tell the truth. If you do not like your financial situation, tell the truth. Tell the truth. If anything you think of, if you're afraid to confront somebody because you're not sure how they'll react if you're honest about your feelings, tell the truth. It is such an empowering feeling to be honest with yourself. Not even so much, you're not doing this for other people. You are telling the truth for you.
And with that, when you tell the truth, you also expose the fears. You expose your insecurities. You expose which I don't even like to use this word because we all make mistakes, but your flaws. And my question to you is, what is wrong with facing those things? If we face our flaws, if we face the things about ourselves that we want to change, if we face our fears, then we can actually accept the truth. But I don't mean just about the bad stuff here. I mean about the good stuff. What if you told yourself, I'm a really good listener? That's a truth too. So it's important to mention, we're not just talking about all the bad stuff or all the negative things. We're talking about tell the truth about everything that is beautiful within you that might need a little bit of tweaking, but all of the truth, add it all up into one big ball of light, is you. And that light cannot shine out of you, and you cannot move forward unless you face the good stuff, the stuff that needs work, and you say, I'm ready to release it.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I think that sometimes telling the truth in who we know we are, as in complimenting ourselves, can be almost harder than telling the truth about the ugly stuff, because we can be really hard on our own selves. So it is crucial for you to remember, once you tell the truth, it's almost like we're going to create this exercise for you. You'll see it. But it's almost, you're going to have two sections. Tell the truth about the ugly. Tell the truth about the good. Make a list. Make a list with it all. But we're going to separate it for you, because we don't need to have the ugly just along with the good. I want you to be able to see and read all of those amazing things about who you are and really tell the truth about who you are. If you think you have beautiful eyes, say you have beautiful eyes. Even if you've got that little voice in the inside, I go, gosh, don't say that about yourself. Don't compliment yourself in that way. Don't listen to it. Do not listen to it. You are not being an egotistical person by complimenting yourself.
Think of it this way. By doing that exercise and by putting the ugly and the beauty into separate columns, you are literally exposing yourself. And what I mean by that is you are taking off the layers of worry and hurt and insecurity and worth. You're taking all of that stuff off, and you are exposing the real you. Because truth telling isn't just about releasing, like I said before, it's also about accepting you for where you are at, for who you are, and for what you believe that you have to bring to this world. And it's like Molly said, this isn't something that's egotistical. We all should have things that we love about ourselves. And we all should feel that we are worth telling the truth to ourselves. Because in that worth is where we find our growth. And in that worth is where we find our purpose.
And we all have value. And our strengths that might be difficult to be honest about, to tell the truth about, those strengths are needed. Your strengths are needed. You never know who you might be able to help or what kind of job you might want to be working. Those strengths are going to be what is going to allow you to be successful. And speaking about your weaknesses, you cannot even turn weaknesses into strengths or grow from your weaknesses unless you're willing to tell the truth about them and then do the work required to have them wherever you want them to be. You know, if there's something you're not so good at and it's not important to you, that's okay. You can say, I'm not good at sports. If that isn't important to you, then you don't need to go learn how to be a professional sports player. That's fine. But say one of your weaknesses is time management, but one of your strengths in your job is something that would do well with better time management skills. So work on it. But you can't work on it until you tell the truth about it. So that's really important. But embrace your strengths, embrace your weaknesses, and work on those weaknesses that you want to improve upon.
Yes, absolutely. And just remember, too, that the success of this is not measured in how many things you write down. The success in this is measured in how much you're pulling this from your heart and from your soul. And you might have to dig deep. And I know I've done this exercise in the past, and, I've been in tears, literally in tears. So don't be afraid if this brings up a lot of emotions for you out there. And I'm just telling you that that's okay. That's actually normal. That's part of this process. Because you can't really just say, well, I'm going to tell the truth, and then poof, everything is just going to start moving along. No, you're going to have to work through these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to work through the things you've been denying to yourself, whether they be good or bad. But after you've felt it, you're going to feel a weight lift off of you. And I speak solely from experience with this because Molly and I have gone through this, are still going through this. I think we all go through this from time to time. And it's so important to seek that truth and tell that truth, though.
Yes. And just remember, in those moments where you are starting to feel all of the emotions that arise from the truth telling, that you take that moment and you honor yourself, because you are exactly where you are meant to be in doing the work. So don't forget to honor you.
Absolutely.
So I've come up with this beautiful little word for truth telling, for telling the truth about where we're at in our souls. We're calling them soulfessions. So we want to hear about your soulfessions. Hashtag soulfessions and tell us your soulfession. We want to know. Let's just be honest. Let's tell the truth. Let's rip off any kind of armor that we might have on ourselves that is not allowing us to give our soulfession, and let's embrace it. You can go to our group, The Butterfly Connection. You can go to our website, thebutterflyconnection.com. Hashtag anywhere, post on Instagram, hashtag soulfessions. We want to hear them. Let us know how you're doing with that. You can sign up for our challenge, Soul Reflections, which is on our website. So you can go there and check that out. All right. Happy truth telling, everyone.
Yes, have a beautiful, blessed week.
Thank you for listening to The Butterfly Connection with Molly Ray and Sarah Courtney.
Look for Soul Reflections Academy on our website, thebutterflyconnection.com, and sign up for our free Soul Reflection Challenge.
We would love to hear from you. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and Google Play and give us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
And join us next week for another soul-connecting conversation.